Welcome to the research methods, or rather research methodology module. The course code for this module is RME0S2. My name is S. Dube, and I'm going to be your tutor for this module. So, the first thing which is very important is for us to understand what is research. So basically this is an introductory module that you are going to be undertaking, where you'll be looking at various components of what research is. Because at the end of your final year, which is your fourth year, you will be required to come up with what you call a thesis, a dissertation, or what some people call a research project. So we are introducing this concept of research, but maybe let's look at the definition first and foremost. So research is defined as a systematic inquiry whose objective is to provide information to solve real-world problems. Okay, so when we engage in research, basically we are looking for answers in order to help us to solve problems that are facing the world. In the context of HIV and AIDS, we'll be looking at solutions that we can use to mitigate the impact of HIV and AIDS across the continuum of prevention, treatment, care, and support. Research attempts to answer the so what question. So what? When we talk about research, research is an open system of thought. So we allow our minds to broaden. We allow our minds to think deeper, to engage a lot more with issues at hand than just focusing on a narrow issue. Research is about critical reflection, meaning we think deeply about what it is that we want to deal with, given the various components of the problem that we'll be dealing with. And also, research is a structured process of inquiry, meaning we follow certain guidelines, we follow certain processes in order to help us to get to the answers we are looking for. So basically, if you look at research, research can be divided into four parts. Number one, or rather the four phases. Number one is the introductory phase, which basically is your chapter 1 and your chapter 2, where you, as a writer or as a researcher, you try to introduce us to your problem. What is the problem you're trying to deal with? Then phase 2 is your methodology. You told us there is a problem that you want to research on. But now the methodology section, you are telling us what tools, what methods are you going to use in order to help us to solve or to find answers for this problem that you have identified. And then phase 3 is the results section. So when you tell us about the methods you are going to use to find answers, it involves data collection. You go out there, collect data, you analyze your data, then from there you show us the results. This is what I found out when I went out to collect data. And then the last part, which is phase 4, is the discussion section, where you discuss now in detail the implications, the meanings, and what needs to be done in order to solve this problem that we have identified. And also research is about objectivity. The opposite of objectivity is subjectivity. So in research, we are very objective, meaning we sit on the fence, we don't take sides. And obviously, the bottom line is that research is a scientific method of answering research questions. And importantly, research is about ideas, arguments, questions, answers. More broadly speaking, it's about knowledge. So as graduates, we would like you to arrive at a situation whereby you are able to generate new knowledge, new thinking. That way, you become a creator and generator of knowledge. But how do I use the relevant knowledge to help inform my own proposed study? Right from the outset. That's very important, because this is where now you have to sift through. You have to check things through. And like we said earlier, research is very structured. When you want to do a research, what you need to do is, first of all, you have to identify the problem that you want to research on. Out of that problem, you come up with a title. Then from that title, you have to write a proposal. A proposal usually has got 3 chapters. That is your chapter 1, which is the introduction and background to your study, which contains, among others, the introduction, background of the study, statement of the problem, research objectives, research questions, significance of the study, limitations of the study, delimitations of the study. You talk about definition of key terms and the conclusion. Then your chapter 2 talks about the literature review, where you consult various articles or work which has been designed by other people in order to substantiate and to identify opportunities upon which you can build your research. In chapter 3 of your proposal is your research methodology, where you talk about your rationale of the study. Why do you want to do the study? Your research design, your population, your sampling, your data collection methods, your data analysis, your validity and liability issues, your ethical issues. So that's how you come up with your proposal. Then from there, once your research has been approved, then you can go and collect data. Then you can now do analysis, and then from there you can start writing in full your project. Now that includes your chapter 4, your chapter 5, and your chapter 6. We'll talk about this in more detail as we go along. So the origins, where do we get research ideas from? So we get our research from ideas from current events. What is happening in the world of HIV and AIDS? For example, you've got a lot of young people getting, the statistics has indicated that there's an increase of HIV among young people. So we may want to find out what is the problem. There are issues of adherence that are affecting those who are on medication. Awareness to alternative viewpoints. There will be always conflicting or competing ideas about HIV and AIDS, be it on prevention, treatment, care, and support. And we may want to research some of these viewpoints in order to find answers. Scientific literature in your field, there is a lot of journals, there are a lot of people who are writing about HIV and AIDS. And which is why it's very important that as a student, you have to read the latest journals in order for you to stay ahead of the game. And current issues, we have got, recently we saw the introduction of PrEP, which is the prophylaxis drug which can be administered to people at high risk, such as students, men having sex with men, and commercial sex workers, among others. What are the issues that are going on there with the introduction of PrEP? We can also get ideas from data basis. We've got quite a lot of databases. And as a student, you need to really know a number of these databases, and it includes, among others, you can check something on Google Scholar, you can check something on Mendeley, you can check something on EBSCO. There are quite a number of databases. We've got NSA, African Studies, Namibian Studies, and also other literature. The table of contents also can actually help you. So what is very important about research is that you must start thinking about your research very early, because there is no time. Yes, this is your second year, but you realize that between now and your final year, there's just 1 year. So why not think about coming up with a topic already and try to work around a proposal through which you can already start working on, so that by the time you get to the 4th year, your proposal is almost ready. So it is worth giving yourself a good deal of time. Think about your project, because if you don't pass your research, if you don't make your research, it may be very difficult for you to graduate. A lot of people are being held back from graduating simply because of not completing their research project. So thinking early about your project is very important. So a research topic, maybe you may be asking yourself, how do I choose my research topic? We can start from a problem that you are facing, or a need that exists for this research, relevant with your career prospects. I'm not sure where you are working and what you are doing. You may want to do a research perhaps on the wellness program in your respective working area, or you may want to do something about your community, something that bothers you about HIV in your community. And also interesting, your topic must be interesting and very stimulating. You must be excited about what you are doing, because I know there are a lot of challenges when it comes to research, but if you're excited about what you are doing, it gives you the energy and the gravitas to keep on going. And you must be original, meaning that whatever you do, yes, there are other people who may have done something in your field of work, but you must try by all means to be as original as possible. And you must provide a time frame which is realistic. If you want to do your study, make sure that you follow a single line of thought, so that you don't go around, changing and shifting boundaries every time there's a challenge, but so that you can stay on course. And also, it must be consistent with your abilities and resources. You cannot say that at this point you want to do a national study, because you are studying. It may require you to travel a lot, and you don't have resources to be all over the 14 regions of this country. It's very difficult, because research costs money, by the way. And unfortunately, there's no funding for your research project. And also, your research must be practicable and feasible. So when we look at your topic, like I said earlier, you may throw in your topic and we can look at what it is, how we can play around in order to make your topic practicable and feasible at the end of the day. But remember to think small. So you start small and then you develop your thinking going forward. So there are some topics which are very bad, examples of very bad topic. You find the topics all over, it's too wide, it can be traced to a single source, too technical, too trivial. So don't do that. Your topic must be concise, it must be tight, it must keep you on the straight and narrow. So the key questions perhaps that you may ask yourself concerning your research, perhaps, is that can you do the research process? And does the scope of the research objective reflect the scope of your research aim? And your satisfaction, are you satisfied with what you are doing? And in other words, the question is, what do you need to look out tool to turn your proposed research into a more feasible and a quality proposal. Because out of what you would have done here, you realize that in your first semester of your final year, you will be required to come up with a proposal. Then once your proposal has been approved, and then you'll be required to do a write-up of your full dissertation after you've collected your data. So, but at the moment, it's very important for you to acquaint yourself with the key terms of research. If you look at your assignments, it's very well detailed, practical examples that can help you to already get started about key components of what makes a research be a research. I look forward to engaging with you in this very exciting module. I know most people don't like research at all, but I want to assure you that this is going to change. It won't be the same. You will find the research very exciting, very stimulating, and perhaps you end up creating a new career path for yourself as a researcher. My contact details are there in your tutorials. You're more than welcome to contact me at any given time, and I look forward to having a very exciting and wonderful time interacting with you. I thank you.